What's up, guys? Welcome to Poor Man Mods. This is my 1988 Mark III Supra, and because I own a Supra, pretty much every car person that I know and encounter asks me what I think of the new Supra. So this video, I'm going to give you my thoughts on it. If you're new here, make sure that you subscribe and click that notification bell. I do have my own Supra, and there's tons of video content on the Supra. So with that being said, let me give you my thoughts on the Supra. Well, if people can say that Donald Trump is not their president, I'm going to say that the new 2019 or 2020 Mark V Supra is not my Supra. I think the car is sexy, and I think it might be a good car, but to me, it's not a Supra. You know, it's basically a BMW Z4. Pretty sure it has a BMW engine in it, and it's the BMW Z4 chassis, I believe. But even if that's not the case, even if it was 100% Toyota, I still don't feel like it's a Supra to me. This Mark III Supra is the first real Supra. Now, there were trim levels of Celicas that were Supra, but this is the first actual Supra car that was just its own thing. And, you know, Supra means above all, like the greatest, above everything. So the Toyota Supra, it's always been a big car. This car, when it came out, was like 3,700 pounds or 3,800 pounds. It's a big, luxurious sports car. Back in the 80s, this thing was freaking awesome. A lot of people didn't like them. You know, they were big and ugly, but for the time, this car was big and luxurious, very luxurious and technologically advanced and fast. So it was, you know, big above all, above everything. It wasn't exactly the best, you know, there were certainly cars that were better, but that's what Supra means. And let me just give a good comparison. Let me read a comparison of horsepower back then, just to illustrate this for you. So 1988, the Supra had the potential to make 230 horsepower. 230 horsepower back in 1988, that's pretty good, because the Mustang back then only made about 222 horsepower. The Camaro made a pathetic 215. The Corvette made 240, so 10 more than the Supra. Dodge didn't really have anything out. That was a sports car back then that I can think of. Subaru probably wasn't pushing anything more than 100 horsepower, if that, back in 1988. So really, the only competitors that this car really had back then, you know, were its Japanese, you know, competitors, Mazda, Nissan, the Skyline, all that good stuff. The Mustang and Camaro and Corvette gave it, you know, a run for its money, but it had more horsepower than anything except the Corvette. It was, you know, back then it was a very fast car on the street. Then we jump to the next generation Supra, which ran up to 2002, and I'll read you off some power numbers for the 2002 Supra. And just like this generation Supra, the Mark IV Supra, a very big car, not small by any means, a little less luxurious than this one because they try to save some weight, but it was still a very big car and luxurious and fast. And they weren't good at turning. If you modified them, they could handle really well, but they're really good for, you know, going fast in the straight line, on the highway, drag racing. That's what they're really good for. So in 2002, the Supra made 320 horsepower. The Mustang GT at the time, or whatever the top trim level Mustang back then, made 260 horsepower. The Camaro made 335, good old LS1. The Dodge Stealth, yeah, I guess Dodge had something, but it was more Mitsubishi, I think. The Dodge Stealth and the Mitsubishi 3000 GT, they made 300 horsepower. The WRX at the time was around 227, and the 300ZX was around 300 horsepower as well. So the Supra, again, was top of its class in horsepower, big, fast, luxurious. It was king shit, and it was expensive as hell. Back then, the Supra in like 1998 was over $40,000, and back in 1988, This thing was almost $30,000. So they were extremely expensive cars compared to everything else, you know, because they had it all: sport, luxury, comfort, all that good stuff. And they were reliable. Well, this one's not. And the new Supra, judging from the pictures, you know, I haven't seen it in person, so the new Supra seems small. You know, at least compared to other cars. Like, to me, the pictures that I've seen of the Supra, it is a sexy car, beautiful, but to me, it looks more like it would be the BRZ or the FRS on steroids. It's just not big. Like, this Supra compared to the others, it's big. It's a big freaking car. The Mark IV Supra, big. And, you know, this new Supra, which, you know, I'm pretty sure it's smaller than all the others. You know, the Camaro and the Mustang are big cars. The Challenger and Charger are gigantic. Now, I guess it would be kind of hard to make a car bigger than the Charger and Challenger, but the new Supra seems like it might be a lot smaller than them. It looks smaller than the Mustang to me. That might not be true, but it looks smaller than the Mustang. And it looks like it's more geared towards, I guess, it looks like it's going to be a really good handling car. Small and nimble. But the horsepower isn't there. It's only rated at like 320 or 330 horsepower. And every single one of its competitors makes more, like double. You know, you take a new Mustang GT and they put down 430 or 420 at the wheels stock. The Camaro is, I think, even more than that. The Hellcat, you know, all the competitors are making a ton more horsepower. Even the new Subaru, the new STI, is going to be making more horsepower than the Supra. And Subaru has hardly increased their horsepower at all. They've been around the 300 horsepower mark for like 20 freaking years. You know, every time they come out with a new STI, they're like, "Ooh, it's got 3 more horsepower," and everyone goes crazy about it. But I just saw something like the new STI is going to have like 337, so it's going to have more than the Supra. So the Supra isn't above all. It's not up there. It's not top of its class. You know, this Supra should be like head-to-head competing with the GTR and the Mustang GT, and I don't think it can. Don't get me wrong, it's probably going to be an amazing car. You know, the BRZ and FRS, they're good cars. They're just not top-level super fast cars, but they're good cars. They handle amazing. I don't know, just to me, it doesn't feel like a Supra. It's, you know, it's a sport car. You know, I feel like it's, I think they should have made the Lexus RCF the Supra. Now that is top dog, top of its class, you know. That is, I don't know the specs on the RCF off the top of my head, but I feel like they should have made the new Lexus RCF the Supra or done something with that. This new Supra just doesn't feel like a Supra to me. It really looks to me like the car that would be in between the Supra and the FRS, which I don't even know what that would be. But it's certainly not a competitor to the GTR at all. And the price point, you know, it's pretty low actually. It's $40,000 or $50,000, which I know that is a lot of money, but all the competitors are much more. You know, you can get very expensive Mustangs, very expensive Camaros, very expensive GTRs. You know, it is a pretty affordable car, but I don't think it doesn't feel like a Supra to me. I would probably own one. I would love to drive one and drive the hell out of it, but I don't know. Just to me, it's not a Supra. It is basically a BMW, but yeah. I mean, and I don't want to make you guys feel a certain way about the car. I'm not telling you how to think or feel or any of that. You know, you can have your own opinion about the car, and I'm sure many people are going to disagree with me. I'm sure there's a lot that will agree with me as well, but you you know, I'm sure this video will get a ton of dislikes, and that's okay. I'm just voicing my opinion. This is, looking at it, it's like a 10 or 11 minute video now. And I originally was just going to make the video saying, hey guys, my thoughts on the new Supra. Well, there hasn't been a Supra made since 2002. And that was going to be the video. And that's how I feel. There hasn't been a Supra since 2002. This is just a sports car that Toyota made, waved their dick around to get everyone excited and to make a bunch of money on. But to me, if there was a Supra out, it'd probably be the RCF. That is a sexual car. I love it. So that is my thoughts on the Supra. You know, use it as a grain of salt. You know, don't take this video to heart. Don't let it offend you. Everyone has an opinion, just like an asshole. So I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Peace.